Okay, so you sent over these two Gregg Braden interviews, Becoming Superhuman, Unlock the Full Potential of Your Mind and Heart, and The Rise of Transhumanism. Do we have the wisdom to not forget what makes us human? And both of these are on Andre Ducombe's YouTube channel.
Mm.
And let me tell you, my mind is already like blown wide open. This idea that there's a whole like hidden level to being human, it's exciting, but it's also kind of unsettling.
It's definitely a thought-provoking concept. And what's fascinating is how Gregg Braden ties it to this idea of a battle for our humanness.
Right. Like there are forces at play that are trying to distract us from our true potential.
Mm.
He even mentions like wars, pandemics, societal collapses. It's intense. But what does that actually look like in our everyday lives? Are we talking about like targeted advertising, social media algorithms, that kind of thing?
It's subtle, but potentially. Yes. Braden argues that by keeping us in a state of fear and uncertainty, by constantly bombarding us with information and distractions, it's easier to control our perceptions and direct our attention away from our own inherent power.
So instead of looking inward and tapping into our own potential, we're constantly looking outward for solutions for someone or something to save us.
Exactly. And this is where Braden's argument against blindly embracing transhumanism comes into play. He's not anti-technology, but he questions the narrative that we need to merge with machines to evolve.
Because he believes we already possess that superhuman potential within us.
Precisely. He points to our DNA not just as a blueprint for building a body, but as a kind of antenna, a receiver for a field of information that connects us all.
Okay, now we're getting into some really mind-bending territory. So instead of artificial intelligence, we're talking about our own innate intelligence accessed through our biology.
That's the core idea. Braden suggests that technologies like AI are essentially mimicking what our bodies already do receive, process, and transmit information, but on a far grander scale than we can currently comprehend.
It's like we are the technology we've been striving to create.
Exactly. And this is where he gets really controversial. Braden argues that by replacing parts of ourselves with synthetic materials, we risk severing our connection to this field of information, limiting our potential in ways we can't even imagine.
So while a hip replacement might help us walk again, it could also, in a way, disconnect us from this deeper level of being. It's making me think about those studies showing how our gut bacteria influence everything from our mood to our immune system. We're just scratching the surface of understanding how interconnected it all is.
Which is why Braden urges us to be cautious, to consider the potential consequences before we rush headlong into replacing our biology with something we barely understand.
It's a lot to process, especially when you consider the potential benefits of these technologies for people suffering from illness or disability. But it's also a powerful reminder to question the narratives we're being sold, to consider the possibility that the solutions we seek might already reside within us.
And that's just the tip of the iceberg. Braden takes this even further with this whole idea that our DNA itself contains a coded message.
Okay, wait, what? Like a hidden message within our very genetic code?
You got it. And not just any message, one that's consistent across ancient Hebrew, Arabic, and Sanskrit. Braden spent years researching this, combining his knowledge of ancient languages with his scientific background, and what he claims to have uncovered is pretty astounding. This is where it gets really interesting. You see, this alleged message, it translates to God eternal within the body.
Whoa, okay, so not just like random code, but like an actual message about our inherent divinity.
That's Braden's claim, and he suggests this message has some pretty profound implications for how we understand ourselves, our place in the universe, and the true nature of our potential.
It definitely challenges that traditional evolutionary narrative, not just accidents of biology, but like products of intentional design. And this design, this divinity, is accessible through like our very being.
That's the crux of his argument. He ties this back to ancient wisdom traditions worldwide, which often refer to the human body as a temple or a sacred vessel. Braden suggests these aren't just metaphors, but like literal descriptions of our true nature.
So we're carrying around this incredible power, this divine spark within us. But we've been conditioned to look outside ourselves for answers, for meaning, for fulfillment.
It's a classic case of missing the forest for the trees. And Braden argues that this disconnect, this forgetting of who we truly are, is at the root of much of the suffering and disharmony we see in the world today.
It makes you wonder if all those distractions, those forces trying to keep us in a state of fear and division, are like specifically designed to prevent us from tapping into this inner power.
That's a question worth pondering. And it leads us to another fascinating thread that Braden unravels the mystery of human evolution. Specifically, this sudden leap in our cognitive abilities around 200,000 years ago. Traditional evolutionary models struggle to explain this rapid advancement.
He mentioned a specific chromosome, right? Like something just appeared out of nowhere in our DNA.
Exactly, chromosome 2. Scientists have known for a while that human chromosome 2 is actually a fusion of two chromosomes that are still separate in our primate cousins. It's like somewhere along the line, two pieces of code were spliced together, creating something entirely new.
And the odds of that happening randomly are basically zero.
Astronomically slim, Braden cites scientists who put the probability at 1 in 10 to the power of 600. To put that in perspective, you'd have better luck winning the lottery every day for a million years.
So we're talking about a genetic anomaly that defies conventional explanation. And Braden suggests this might be evidence of an external influence.
He explores the possibility of ancient advanced civilizations, perhaps even extraterrestrial beings that played a role in our evolutionary journey.
Okay, now we're getting into the really juicy stuff. Ancient aliens' advanced technology lost to time. It's the kind of stuff that makes you question everything you thought you knew.
And while it's easy to dismiss these ideas as like fringe theories, Braden presents a pretty compelling case. He points to anomalies in the archaeological record, unexplained structures like the pyramids, ancient texts describing interactions with beings from the stars.
It's like we're catching glimpses of a hidden history, a different version of events than the one we've been taught.
And whether or not you buy into the idea of ancient astronauts, it's clear that there are still many mysteries surrounding our origins and our true potential.
So we've got this battle for our humanness, this idea that we possess this incredible innate power that's being suppressed or distracted from. We've got this mysterious message encoded in our DNA, hinting at our true origins and potential. And we've got the possibility that we're not alone in the universe, that our evolution may have been guided by forces beyond our current understanding. It's a lot to wrap your head around.
It's a paradigm shift. And at the center of it all is this question. How do we access this potential? How do we reconnect with that divine spark within us?
That's the million-dollar question. And luckily, Braden offers some answers.
He does, and this is where his insights into the heart become particularly relevant.
Okay. I'm intrigued. I've always thought of the heart as like a symbol of love and emotion, but Braden's suggesting it's something more.
Much more. He challenges the common notion of the heart as simply a pump, revealing it to be a powerful center of intelligence in its own right.
Wait, really? I'd heard that, but I always assumed it was just like a metaphor.
Nope. Braden cites actual scientific research showing that the heart has its own complex neural network with around 40,000 specialized neurons capable of independent thought, feeling, sensation, and even memory.
40,000 neurons. That's more than some animals' entire brains.
It's remarkable. And these neurons aren't just sitting there idly. They're actively sending and receiving information, influencing our perceptions, emotions, and even our physical health.
So it's like we have two brains working in tandem. No wonder we humans can be so complex.
Precisely. And here's where it gets really interesting. Braden suggests that our hearts, through this complex neural network, have a direct connection to that field of information we were talking about earlier, that field of pure potential that connects us all.
Okay, now we're back to those superhuman abilities. So our hearts are like biological Wi-Fi routers connecting us to this cosmic internet of pure possibility.
That's a great way to visualize it. And Braden emphasizes the importance of something called heart-brain coherence, a state where the heart and brain are working in harmony, amplifying our access to this field of infinite potential.
Heart-brain coherence. It sounds like the ultimate power couple. How do we cultivate this coherence?
Well, Braden highlights a simple yet powerful three-step technique developed by the Institute of Heart Math. It starts by shifting your focus from your head to your heart, bringing your attention to the center of your chest.
Okay, that seems doable. What's next?
Then you shift your breathing, slowing it down and making it more rhythmic. Deep, calming breaths that soothe the nervous system and create a sense of inner peace.
Deep breaths. Got it. What's the final step? Okay, I'm ready for that final step. What is it?
The final step is to recall a feeling of genuine appreciation or gratitude. It could be as simple as appreciating the warmth of the sun on your skin, or like feeling gratitude for a loved one.
Gratitude is such a powerful emotion.
Mhm.
And Braden is saying that by consciously cultivating this feeling, we can actually shift our physiology, create more harmony between our heart and brain, and tap into this field of infinite potential.
That's the idea, and the research from the Institute of Heart Math seems to support this. They've found that practicing this technique, even for a few minutes each day, can have some significant benefits for both our mental and physical well-being.
So we're not just talking about some new age woo-woo here. There's actual science backing this up.
There's a growing body of evidence suggesting that our hearts are far more than just blood pumps. They play a very central role in our emotional and even our cognitive experiences.
This is blowing my mind. So Through this heart-brain coherence, we can access a deeper level of intelligence, creativity, even intuition.
That's what Braden proposes. He believes we can tap into a wellspring of wisdom and insight that's often drowned out by all the noise of our modern world.
It makes me think about all those times I ignored my gut instinct, that quiet voice inside telling you to do something different.
We've all been there. But imagine if we were more in tune with that inner guidance, if we trusted our hearts to lead us towards decisions and actions that were truly aligned with our highest good.
It's like we've been given the keys to a high-powered sports car, but we've been too afraid to take it out of first gear.
And that's the tragedy that Braden highlights. We walk around with this incredible potential within us, yet we often live far beneath our capabilities.
So how do we change that? How do we shift from, like, fear and limitation to a place of courage and possibility?
Braden offers several practices, but they all kind of boil down to a few key principles. The first is recognizing our inherent wholeness.
So instead of focusing on what's wrong with us or what we lack, we start from a place of recognizing our innate value and potential.
Exactly. We are already whole and complete just as we are. From there, it's about questioning the stories we've been told about ourselves and the world around us.
You mean like challenging those limiting beliefs that keep us playing small, like I'm not good enough or I'll never be able to achieve that?
Precisely. Those stories, those beliefs, they shape our perceptions and limit our potential. It's about becoming aware of the narratives we're carrying and choosing to rewrite the ones that no longer serve us.
It's like we become the authors of our own lives, choosing to craft a more empowering and fulfilling story.
And a really crucial part of rewriting that story is learning to trust our intuition, that inner voice that guides us towards what's true and authentic for us.
It's about listening to our hearts even when they're whispering and the world is shouting at us to do otherwise.
Exactly. It's about recognizing that the wisdom we seek often resides within us if we can just quiet our minds enough to hear it.
This has been such an incredible deep dive, so much to think about, so much to explore. Any final thoughts before we wrap things up?
I think the most important takeaway here is this: the power to create a different future, a future that's more aligned with our true nature. It lies within each of us. It's not about waiting for someone else to save us or for the world to change. It's about embracing our wholeness, questioning our stories, trusting our intuition, and leading with our hearts.
It's about remembering who we truly are. Powerful, creative, and infinitely capable beings.
Exactly. And when we step into that truth, when we choose to live from a place of love and possibility, we become a force for positive change, not just in our own lives, but in the world around us.
What a powerful message to end on. Thanks for taking this deep dive with me. It's
Yeah.
definitely got me thinking differently about the world and my place in it.
It's been my pleasure. Keep exploring, keep questioning, and most importantly, keep trusting the wisdom within you.
And to our listeners, we hope this deep dive has sparked your curiosity and inspired you to explore the depths of your own being. Remember, the journey to unlocking your superhuman potential starts within. Until next time.